to come on. Hello, Facebook. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining. It's the Civilized Presence. And just give us 1 minute for Facebook to bring this video and make it visible to everyone. Just give us a minute. I'm not sure why we're an echo, but let's see. Welcome to the Civilized Presence. If you're here, let me know where you're joining us from. Okay. I was just trying to balance the sound. So let's see.
Okay. Do I have to mute the sound on my phone?
Yes, if you turn it down a little, I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
Yes, so just give us a moment. Now, I'm not able to put it on your page on Facebook, so you will bring this. Anna, you.
Okay. How do I share that on my page on Facebook?
On Facebook, you would have to get it from my page on Facebook, and can you see this on my page on Facebook?
So let me look at that.
Okay, just give us a moment, guys. We're almost there. Welcome. Right. Are you able to do that on your page, Dr. Praise?
Yeah, I am on your page.
Okay.
Yes, I am. Yes. So.
Yeah, we're just having a feedback with Instagram. I'm not sure what's going on. Welcome to the Civilized Presence, guys. You're definitely in the right place at the right time. We're just trying to make sure that connections and everything works out perfectly well. Your video on Instagram kind of turned upside down. So welcome, guys. If you're here, coming in and just say a quick hello. Yeah, we're having trouble with Instagram. I'm not quite sure what's going on with Instagram. Welcome, Instagram family. I really apologize that we're having a feedback with Instagram. But we're going to get it right. Just give us a moment. Welcome, Agnero. It's great to have you in the house. The video is perfect now. It's great to have you in the house. Guys, coming in and let us know where you're joining us from. It's the Civilized. You're in the right place. We're here every Mondays and Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We started at 8 a.m. Eastern Time 2 years ago, but we had to change our timing just because of the lockdown. I believe that at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, you're probably still sleeping. But welcome. It's great to have you here. Civilized Presence is an online TV session where lives are changed, where people discover themselves, their purpose, and their voice, and of course, learn social skills to thrive in the real world. So if you're looking at becoming a change maker, you're definitely in the right place. But I really apologize that we're having a feedback this morning. So let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
Great.
Where the problem is. Instagram is where the problem is, but Facebook is doing perfectly well. Okay, so we're just gonna keep going. All right. So the main focus of this Facebook series or Instagram series or YouTube series depends on where you're watching us from. Is really restore civility through meaningful and constructive conversations in our society. Now, some of you have never met me before. My name is Dr. Louisa Akaizo, and I am a Master Civility Trainer, a woman development advocate, and of course, an author of several books, a leadership expert with an actual team. I work constantly with leaders and professionals that place great importance in themselves, their reputation. And that's going to be you this morning, this afternoon, this evening, depending on where you're joining us from, just because you've made out time to be here. Now, some of you have never heard about civility before, but civility is focused on positive people's treatment. Civility is treating others the way that you want to be treated. So you can think about it as the golden rule. And one of the definitions that I love so much is the one from P.F. Twenty that states that being civil is being constantly aware of others and weaving restraint, respect, and consideration into that very fabric of awareness. So civility must begin with us. It's just that we're going to have to step away from our comfort zone and be intentional about our actions. So if you can hear me, please give me some heart. Facebook family, I can see that I believe that your video is going well. It's just Instagram that is giving us trouble. Let me know where you're joining us from. It's the Civilized Presence. Dr. Branch, it's great to have you. Agnero, G-Day, it's great to have you in the house. Impactful, it's great to have you. I think we're fine now. There's no more echo. Perfect. So we're good to go. Thank you so much, guys, for making out time to be here. I'm not sure how many of you might have seen the topic of today, but it is a topic that is really hits my heart, really hits my core, and I think it's extremely important. And that topic is how professionals can create success online using the tools of executive presence and personal branding. So, because of the lockdown, we are all online. Every professional is online. Every
Hi,
homeowner.
Jide. Good to have you in the house.
Yes, I don't know what's going on with Instagram, but I think the network too could be one of it. Yvonne, it's good to have you in the house. Thank you so much. BBN Chummer, it's good to have you in the house. And we lost you there on Instagram right now, but we'll see how things go. I am Nick. It's good to have you in the house. So, Dr. Praise, you might have to come back into Instagram for me to be able to connect you back on Instagram. Instagram is giving us a bit of trouble, guys, but it's gonna work. It's gonna work. So let me tell you who my guest is, Dr. Eno Praise, Ambassador Dr. Eno Praise. Let me tell you a bit about who he is and why he's so special to me this morning. Dr. Praise is a personal brand strategist, a professional speaker, and author of several books. He is currently the chief strategist of Todoroki. I think his network is where the problem is, but he'll be back. Todoroki Africa Limited, and he's also the executive director at Leaders Without Borders Development Center. He is the CEO at Chester Bridge Limited, the co-founder of Pan African Leadership and Entrepreneurship Development Center, PALDEC, West Africa's director at Pan Africa Humanitarian Summit Awards, managing partner at World Advisors Council. He is the vice president of Child Summit and Awards. He's the founder of Africa Entrepreneurs Network. He's a co-publisher with Africa Business Boardroom, and he was honored with an honorary doctorate in leadership and human resource management from Global Academy of Psychological Sciences, New Delhi, India, and Dubai, UAE. And so we're so excited to have Dr. Praise, but I think his network is pretty bad. So guys, you just have to give him a minute and he's going to be back here. You know, some of us have been asking for some kind of conversation in executive presence and personal branding. Now, some of you might know what personal branding is, and some of us do not. But executive presence is the art of developing credibility and managing perceptions. So this is done by creating a powerful personal brand combined with effective interpersonal and communication skills packaged together with an impeccable personal presence, confidence, composure, and charisma. So if your brand has always been something that you struggle with, Dr. Rivers, it's great to have you in the house. Then you're definitely in the right place. But we're struggling with connections this morning. I'm not sure what's going on. It looks like Facebook is doing their thing, but we're here to go. Now, your brand is what is going to distinguish you from your competitors. That's what will help you to make and keep a lasting impression in the mind of your audience, in the mind of your customers. So I know you're probably thinking, you're probably asking, Louisa, but we're all online and all businesses are online right now. Do I really need to build credibility using my executive presence, using my personal brand? And my answer is going to be yes. Your personal brand is so important. It doesn't matter if you're online, if you're offline, but you do need to have a brand. And I'll get this back here. Dr. Enor, are you okay now? It looks like it was the network, but we're back with you now.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah. Network has been going on. Yeah.
That's fine. We'll just keep going. So I was just kind of making an introduction of what personal brand is and what executive presence is just before you get started with the conversation. So guys, we're just going to jump right into the topic of today.
Okay.
Just so that we do not take so much of our guest time and of your time. So Dr. Eno, please take a moment and just say hello to our audience. Over to you, Dr. Eno. Can you hear me, Dr. Eno? Let's say hello to our audience.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Dr. Eno Praise. I am. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, just wave. So
I can hear you.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me? If you hear me, just wave. If you can hear me, just wave.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Also, my name is Dr. Eno Praise. Executive President Strategist for Todoroki Africa.
Yeah, the network is not friendly today.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello. Not at all.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
Not at Okay, so yeah, I can. This is
Okay.
This is bad.
But we can hear you though.
This is. I think we should just go on in between. Just do an introduction of myself. Just Okay. So you can hear me. I am Dr. Enopris, Chief Strategist for Todoroki Africa. I am also a brand strategist, an executive presence strategist, and a customer experience strategist. And it's good to be here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Enor. I really apologize that the network is not so friendly today, but I know that the topic is one that is so important, and so many people are interested in this. And of course, Dr. Enor does an amazing work all over the world. So we always bring the best to the show. So when you have someone here, he is the best in that you can ever get. Yes, I can hear you. So we have Blessing here. Welcome. Thank you so much. He said we can hear you well. Thank you. So we're excited about the topic.
Hello.
We're ready to go. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Blessing. You can hear me. That's great. Dr. Louisa is not here.
Yeah, we can hear you and see you clearly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay, great. Okay, good. Okay, I think we can proceed. We can proceed.
perfect. So I just want us to begin this conversation with the definition of personal branding. You know, it's important that we explain to our guests what is personal branding, anyways. Over to you, Dr. Praise.
Okay. You know, people, a lot of people talk about personal branding here and there, but we need to understand what exactly is personal branding. Like I always say, I usually like starting with this. A couple of years ago, I think exactly about 6 years ago, I I moved to my present location, which is Abuja, the FCT. For me, over the years, I have learned what it means to dress well, look upright, work hard, and all of that. So I am always ready. And then one day I stepped out of church, actually a Sunday. This particular day, 6 years ago, it was on a Sunday. So I vividly remember that. And then I was just by the walkway about to get into a car. And then a man drives by. After passing, he to reverse and comes up to me and like, John, you dress well. And I said, thank you.
Yeah, the network. Oh my goodness, guys! I a lot of people who are joining.
Thank you, sir. And he said, what do you do?
Yeah, the
Are you still there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's just that it's in between, like we're breaking off most part of it. I think it's the network from where you are.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, and what I did was that I stopped the video on Instagram just to see if the network would be a lot better. Okay, so can you hear me now?
Okay. Is it better? I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, so let's go for it. If you can hear me.
I can hear you. Okay, so yeah, okay. So like I said, and he said, you dress well. What do you do? And I teach people how to dress. So the man had to park his car, came down from the car. I no, you need to explain that to me. You teach people how to dress. And I said, yes, that's what I do for a living. Now, at that time, I had not got what I call the punchline or elevator pitch for what I do. So that was the easiest way to just capture his attention. And I said, I teach how to dress. And they said, no, you need to come teach my staff how to dress. Now, personal branding in the shortest possible way that I can explain to you is just the impression you make when people see you. Your first impression. So your personal brand is the powerful, clear, positive idea that comes to mind whenever other people think of you. It's what you stand for, the values, your abilities, and your actions that others associate with you. That is your personal brand. When people think of you, what do they think? What comes to mind? In MSC, when they think of you, what do they think? Blessing, when they think of you, what do they think?
Right.
Doctor, when they think of you, what do they think? What they think about you is your personal brand. So that's the shortest form and the shortest way to define personal brand. your abilities, your values, your beliefs, and when they think of you, what comes to their mind.
Okay, great. I'm just going to go back to the audience because I have quite a lot of people who are joining us today. Impact Us, it's great to have you. Az, Ife, Kenita, Renee, Dr. Rivers, Dr. Branch, it's great to have you. Esther, Bonsi, it's great to have you. Civility TMS, it's good to have you in the house. Thank you so much for making out time to be here. I really have to apologize that we're having issues with our network, but right now we're good to go. So this is going to take me to my next question for you, Dr. Praise, talking about personal,
Yes.
what people think about you when you get out of the room, basically. What's the impression? So this connects to the impression that you leave in the hearts of people, or even the first impression. Now, can this impression, can it be changed? So that's my question. My next question would be, can you change this impression? So, for example, you connected with someone and you left a really poor and terrible and negative impression. Is it possible to change this impression? And how easy is it to change it anyways? Over to you, Dr. Praise.
Okay, yeah, it is possible to change that impression, but it's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of work. So I usually tell people it is better you create a good first impression so that you don't have to do a lot of work next time to create a new impression. I don't know if you understand me.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is always better to create a good impression first. Now, usually I tell people there's something I call the 7-11 principles. Now, people would decide in 7 seconds from 11 impressions whether they like you, whether they dislike you, whether they're indifferent about you. So when you get into a room, or peradventure you had created a wrong impression and you need to correct it, what do you do? How do you do that? It's a lot of work. So what you need to do at that point is to go back to what I call the 7-11. Make sure you're clean. Make sure you're engaging. Make sure you're credible. Make sure you're knowledgeable. Make sure you're responsive. Make sure you're friendly. Make sure you're helpful. Make sure you're understanding. You're courteous, you're confident, and you're professional.
Wow.
Now, these are the 11 impressions people will make of you when they see you in 7 seconds. Wow. Now, it's a subconscious thing. No one wants to get that out immediately. It's a subconscious thing. But when you get to master it, you can immediately identify the 11 impressions in 7 seconds. So it depends on what you're doing.
Okay. This is
yeah.
I love that you're broken it down because, people take for granted that image and personal brand and executive presence is supposed to be just for a certain group of people. And I'm so happy this morning that you're here as an expert, an international expert, to enforce the importance of getting it right without impressions. Because when you mess up with your personal brand, the possibility of even getting a chance to change it is close to not being, possible. You know what I mean? Because you might not really, if you look at research says you might not really hang around that same group of people for so long. So you might never
for a long time.
It. So you want to be able to hit it and nail it at the first time. Now, this is going to take something which is executive presence. And I know that's a big portion of what you do. What's the difference between executive presence and personal branding? Over to you, Dr. Praise.
Oh, okay, great. Let me start with executive presence, which is my core passion. One of the things I push my brand out. Now, executive is the art and the act of developing credibility and managing perceptions. Now, this is done by creating a powerful personal brand combined with effective interpersonal and communication skills packaged together with an impeccable personal appearance, confidence, and composure. Did you get that?
Yes.
Now, so executive presence is an art and act. In between executive presence is your personal brand.
Good.
So let me put it this way for a layman. Executive presence is the elder brother to personal brand.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Mm. So everyone has got, sorry for the Americans that are watching. I mean, I don't mean to be rude. Donald Trump has personal brand, but he doesn't have executive presence.
Wow. Okay.
He doesn't. Yes. Barack Obama has got personal brand.
Yes.
And he has executive presence.
Right.
Now, if these two people walk into a room, most of the attention will go towards Barack Obama.
Wow.
Yes. Now, Barack Obama has got credibility. He has developed and managed perceptions. He has a powerful personal brand. His interpersonal skills is effective. He has good communication skills. He has an impeccable personal appearance. He is confident and he has charisma. These are the things that put executive presence together.
This is interesting.
When you walk into a room, everyone turns. Have you ever been in a function and you're just sitting there, somebody walks in and everyone is talking, who is he? Where is he from? It's because the person has a courage that he comes with. There's a presence the person comes with. Now, it is very important for every leader and every person, especially entrepreneurs in the 21st century, to have executive presence. Because there are certain places you walk into. For instance, you're a startup entrepreneur and you need to look for funds. You're going to an investment bank to look for funds. The first thing they look at is your appearance, your presence. 7-Eleven.
Wow.
So it's very important.
This is so interesting, and I'm so excited that you're sharing this. You know, the importance of executive presence and personal brand, and how we cannot run away from that. Because sometimes certain things I use very loosely. Like I hear you know professionals or entrepreneurs talk about credibility and all about how we can build credibility with our clients, how we can build trust, how we can connect with our clients, but do not think that personal brand or executive presence is a tool that's going to get them there. Now, can you talk more to the audience about how personal brand or executive presence can help anyone build trust and credibility with whoever that they're going to be working with? Because I think that this is something that we really have to enforce, on professionals and leaders or anyone, that your personal brand is not something that you can play around with. Over to you, Dr.
Okay, great. So in my workbook, the Executive Presence Brand Development Workbook, there's something I call the 6 C's of executive presence. The 6 C's of executive presence. Now, it's called the development model.
Yes.
And it's divided into 2 parts. We have the external presence and the internal presence.
Yes.
Now, the external presence is impact. What people see is the impact. So now the external presence impact is divided into 3 parts. So you have the charisma, you have the communications, and you have the credibility. Now, under credibility is under charisma, you have your attitude, you have your energy, and you have your gravitas. Now, under communication, you have your active listening, the body language, and public speaking. And under credibility, you have your personal brand and reputation.
Yes.
Great. So, and then under the internal presence, which is influence, you have your competence, you have connecting, and you have confidence. Now, I call it the 6 C's of executive presence. Under competence, you have business intelligence, you have networking, you have business savvy. Under connection, you have your interpersonal skills, you have your management skills and all of that. And then under confidence, you have your emotional intelligence,
Yes.
which is what we all need. Now, as a person, you need to be able to combine both uh, your internal presence and your external presence,
Right.
which is your impact and your influence. Now, when you exude impact, you are affecting lives.
Yes.
And then the influence is what gets them to begin to act and work like you.
Yes.
Now, it is in this part that you begin to bring out what I call demonstrated leadership, where people get to do what you do and not just what you say. People have moved away from doing what you say into doing what you do.
Right.
The best form of leadership that I will say and define is executive presence. Because in executive presence, people look at your lifestyle, they look at what you do, they look at how you talk, they look at how you dress, they look at how you communicate, they look at how friendly you are with people, they look at your interaction with people, and then they begin to do same. So it's not just saying something and then doing something different.
Right.
Executive presence is saying it and doing it. And then people are looking at you and they're like, oh, this guy dresses well. I need to dress like him. This guy speaks well. I need to speak like him. This guy, he's very friendly with people. I need to be friendly. He's savvy when it comes to business. I need to be savvy. People begin to look up to you and begin to do the things you're doing, not just the things you're saying.
Right. Okay. This is interesting.
Yeah.
It's so important.
So, yeah. So yeah. So important. So the 6 C's of executive presence. The first C, confidence. We all know what confidence is. The foundation of executive presence is self-confidence. You need to be confident in yourself. You need to have self-esteem. You need to have a self-image and self-worth. If you are not confident with yourself, there is no way people will be confident in you.
Yes.
So you need to be confident. You need to have self-confidence, which is the core foundation of executive presence.
Okay.
You need to. And then the next one is connecting. You need to have social intelligence, interpersonal skills. Social intelligence is the capacity to efficiently negotiate complex social relationships and requires one to genuinely care about the welfare and development of others. Most importantly, it is not how much you have done for people or you've said to people, but what will keep them coming back to you is how much you cared for them. How caring are you? How connecting are you? In the business world right now, everyone, you've got to be able to connect with people when you get into an event or a social function or a conference. You're speaking at a conference as a speaker. You need to be able to connect with the people. So, for instance, I have a speaking engagement and I need to be at the venue 30 minutes before the event starts. Why am I getting there? Because I need to be able to connect with the people, to talk with them, get to understand why they are at the event. What do they want to learn? Now, it gives me a perspective when I go up stage on what to say, on solution to bring to them. So as an entrepreneur and as a leader, you need to be able to connect with people, which is the second C of executive presence.
Yes.
And the third one is competence. You need to be competent in your area of specialization. Are you a banker? You need to know everything about the banking sector. Are you an IT person? You need to know everything about the IT world. My mentor usually says something to me. He said, you always tell me, say, know one thing about everything and then know everything about one thing. Know one thing about everything and then know everything about one thing. At that point, nobody can floor you. You have teeny bit ideas and teeny bit information about every other thing, and then you're specialized in one particular area, which is your expert area. So you need to be competent. I hope I'm making sense here.
You are. I'm taking notes. Absolutely. Yeah, we
Okay.
have things. So yeah.
Yeah.
So we have
And the next one is
connection and
yeah,
competence.
go ahead. Yes. And then the next one is credibility. Credibility is a powerful personal brand and reputation management. The bottom line is that executive presence is all about developing professional credibility.
Right.
Credibility comes from developing a personal brand that is consistent with your action as a professional. Credibility says your action and what you say as a professional are in tune. So people will do business with you because you are credible. You are credible. That's why people will do business with you.
Right.
You're credible. So credibility is a lot of things that, I mean, you've got to be it. When people look at you, when people refer you, when people recommend you, why are they recommending you? It's because you're credible.
Right.
You've got credibility. And then the next one is communication. Communication involves body language. I mean, we have two types of communication, which is the verbal communication and non-verbal communication.
Yes.
So you can either be looking at someone and be communicating. You can fold your hands, you're communicating. You can just put your hands on your cheek, you're communicating. You can carry your hands on your head, you're communicating. Whatever body language you move in is communication. It's communication. So communication involves active listening, body language, the art of public speaking. Everyone talks. I mean, I need the audience and everyone to write this down. Everyone talks. Few people truly communicate and connect.
That is true.
Everyone talks, but few people truly communicate and connect.
That is true.
The dichotomy of executive presence is that it is not all about you. It's about how others feel about you and how you make them feel about themselves. Bearing in mind, it is important to make a conscious effort to make every interaction a meaningful experience and develop rapport and trust. So when you're communicating, it's not about you. It's about who you're speaking to.
Yes.
It's about who you're talking to. How do you make them feel? Are they comfortable talking with you? Are they comfortable speaking with you? Are they comfortable communicating with you? So it's about how you make them feel. So in the midst of your communication, you have to be able to gain trust for people to keep talking to you. Most people have mentors. And you see someone say, I need to discard this mentor. I can't talk to this mentor because they've not been able to develop trust for their mentor, with their mentor when communicating. But as a leader, as a thought leader in the 21st century, you need to be able to develop trust with your audience, with your mentees, with your staff, with your employees, with the world, with your business associates. When you're communicating, what are you saying? So it is not what you say that matters, but how you say what you say.
Absolutely.
So communication is very important. You have the non-verbal communication and the verbal communication.
Yes.
And then the next one is charisma.
Mm.
Charisma constitutes your attitude, your energy, and your gravitas. Charisma of all the traits deployed and displayed by people with executive presence. Charisma is by far the most important as well as the most elusive of all the elements. Out of all the 6 C's, charisma is the most important and as well the most elusive of all of them. Now, charisma is defined as a compelling attractiveness or charm that inspires devotion in others.
Mm.
Also referred to as contagious positive energy.
Mm.
It's contagious. Charisma is contagious. I'll give you an illustration of a couple of people that have got charisma. When you look at Idris Elba,
Yeah.
he's got this charisma that you see him do stuff, you want to do stuff like he's doing.
Yeah.
When you
Absolutely.
see people like Denzel Washington, they've got charisma.
Yeah.
They've got this positive, attractive energy that everyone wants to be like them. When you look at Beyonce, same thing. When you look at Obama, the way he speaks with passion, with charisma, with attitude, everyone wants to talk like him. Everyone wants to dress like him. You just want to be like him.
Absolutely.
So charisma is contagious.
Mhm.
It's contagious. So from a mental perspective, it is best described as an attitude in physical form. It is characterized by displays of a powerful posture, level head, and genuine smile.
Mm.
So when you walk into a room, you're smiling. You're happy with yourself. You're happy to see the people. You're dancing in your head. My wife will usually say, you are doing backflip in your mind.
I-
Yeah, you're so happy, you're so excited. It radiates on your physical what is already on your inside.
Absolutely.
So people get to see you and they're like, why is this guy happy? Why is he excited?
Yes.
That is why. I hope I was able to cover the 6 C's of executive presence.
Interesting because, the 6 C's of executive presence is just similar to the return on civility. We have something called the ROC, and I would be
Yeah.
happy to share that with you. And it just makes me smile when I connect with someone of like minds. It brings me so much joy. And guys, I don't know if you're enjoying this session just as I am, but I feel like I'm eating really good food. This is so good to my soul. I love to work with the best of the best leaders, and we have a lot of people who are joining. Ojo, it's good to have you. Christine, it's good to have you. Another Christine is here. It's good to have you. Mary, it's good to have you from Canada. Another Mary, it's good to have you. Ify, it's amazing having you in the house. Baller, Wager, it's good to have you in the house. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a civilized presence. You're definitely in the right place at the right time. And let me just bring on our promotional video just before we continue. Welcome back, guys. It's the Civilized Presence. You're definitely in the right place. If you're just joining us for the first time, we're here every Mondays and Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And it was such a great topic today. And don't know if you're just getting here. I don't want to say that you're late to the party, but you are. But you will have access to it on my page because I brought the best of the best. Dr. Ambassador Dr. Eno Praise, the best of the best. I brought him to the house today. I don't know what part of the world he's doing right now because, it's very difficult to get Ambassador Eno Praise, and I'm so excited and honored that he made out time to be here with us today. So guys, if you have questions that has to do with executive presence, your personal brand, if that's something that you're struggling with, communication, confidence, building credibility with your clients, bring that question on right now because the expert is in the house and you don't want to miss this time with asking him this question. Because if you have to work with him one on one, it's going to cost you a lot of money. But I mean, this is a great question right here. So this is going to take me to my next question for you, Dr. Praise. And my next question here has to do with confidence and self-esteem. I know that that's something that so many people struggle with. Confidence, self-esteem. And I remember when the lockdown started, so many clients that I was working with, Sister Eileen, it's good to have you here this morning. A lot of clients that I was working with said to me, Louisa, when I asked them, how are you doing? It's like, oh, I think I'm okay. But my problem is, how will I get in front of the camera with my business? My business is going to shut down. And I always encourage everyone that this is the new normal. Listen, you have to embrace it. There is no way. There's no old normal. It's not coming back. It's not happening. So this is the new normal. It's time for you to step forward and bring what you have. Bring your awesomeness. Bring your brilliance to connect with your audience. And you've just learned this morning that you will need, a positive presence for you to be able to connect with your audience, because your executive presence will help you with your confidence, with your connections, with being competent, with credibility and how to communicate, and of course, charisma. So my question for you right now, Dr. Praise, would be, how can one begin to build some form of confidence? Like, let's say, let's create an avatar here, and this avatar is Mrs. Or Miss, or let's use a man, because women as examples, they kind of feel
they kind of feel awkward.
Put us on the spot again. So my avatar today will be Peter. So let's say we're talking about Mr. Peter. And Mr. Peter has always been behind doors doing his business for all these years. And then COVID showed up, but he wasn't ready for COVID. Now, Peter is struggling. Like, is this the end of the world for me? Do I have to go look for 9 to 5? Unfortunately, so many companies are not hiring right now. They're trying to cut down. And so looking for a job is going to be most difficult. Now, the issue with Mr. Peter is the fact that he lacks confidence. He's not able to speak to people. He doesn't know how to talk about his business. How can you help Mr. Peter at this time? Let's say Mr. Peter is listening to us. What can he learn from this session to begin right now to work on his confidence level? Over to you, Dr. Praise.
Okay. First of all, you need to understand that to be able to build your confidence, you need to look at your area of specialization. What are you specialized in? Now, when you understand and know what you're specialized in, what is the next thing you need to do? You need to begin to study.
Yeah, we're losing you for a moment.
Because you can't allow your
Can you hear me? We're losing you for a moment.
And your customers to know your product and your services more than you do.
Right.
Now, the reason for the reason why people do not have self-confidence It's because they don't know what they are made up of.
Yeah. What kind
So
of
you're
losing the praise?
scared of talking to people about what you're doing. Or can you hear me?
I can
Hear
hear
me?
you. There's a little bit of a delay
Hello.
on your end.
Okay. So, like I said earlier, people lack self-confidence because they don't know who they are.
Mm.
I'm going to make a statement. It is not what you don't have that limits you, but what you have and you do not know how to use it.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to say that again. It is not what you don't have that limits you, but what you have and you don't know how to use it.
Right.
So to be able to build your self-confidence, you need to look at what you have and you're not using.
Right.
Are we still here?
Yeah, we're still here, but I know the connections is really bad for you. But so the summary is we need to know how to use what we have. It's not what you have. It's not what you don't have that is the problem here, but what you have and don't know how to use. So basically, it's important that you focus, because what Dr. Praise is trying to say is important that you focus on what you do and be the best at what you do. Yeah, so we have
Are
a,
we here?
yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello? Dr. Praise, can you hear me? Yeah, I think the connection is really bad for Dr. Praise. But guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about confidence at this point, how to build confidence, how to be able to take your brilliance to the marketplace. And Dr. Praise is talking about being the best at what you do. If you were here when he discussed about the 6 C's of executive presence, one of the things that he talked about is confidence or even credibility or being competent. So whatever that you do, you need to be the best at what you do. So whatever that you're focused on, if you're a professional, if you're an expert, you need to spend time to study the subject matter. I think that's what's going to bring you confidence. That's what he was trying to say, but his network is not allowing him to. So you need to study the subject matter. You need to do a lot of research. You need to listen to videos, listen to people, go through trainings, figure out what kind of services, what kind of skills do you require to be the best at what you do. And I'm trying to bring him back on. Can you hear me now, Dr. Praise?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So you can go for it.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Okay, great. So, so like I said, it is not what you don't have that limits you, but what you have and you don't know how to use it.
Yes.
So in building yourself and then begin to use it.
Mm.
So some people might not know how to talk well, but they know how to joke. So you can sell your product or your services via jokes.
Mm. Yeah, the network is not allowing us with Dr. Praise. Dr. Praise, can you hear me?
So that will boil down to PDP. That's what I call it, your personal development plan. So in building your self-confidence, you need to develop what I call the personal development plan. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Guys, if you can just hang on for a
Can you
moment,
hear me?
I think we need to restart this video because Dr. Praise is having trouble. Dr. Praise, let's restart this video.